Happy Thursday, girls and boys. Well, today I have another fun book for you. It's called Mrs. Mcnosh and the Great Big Squash. Have you ever had squash for dinner, maybe for lunch? It's a really yummy vegetable, if you ask me. Well, sounds like Mrs. Mcnosh has a really big squash. So let's find out what the story is about. Alright, let's see. First page. There we go. Alright, make sure you can see okay. The first day of spring, Mrs. Nellie Mcnosh went out to her garden and planted a squash. Now, especially if you go to school at Bethune Academy, which is my school, then Wildcats, did you know that one of our teachers, Miss Dawn, she loves gardening too. It's amazing. She pushed the seed in with the tip of her toe, and the minute she did it, it started to grow. It's like magic. At first, it was round and as big as a head. In fact, it looked just like the paper boy, Fred. Like that. Look at that. But it's not done growing yet. It's going to get bigger. Then it turned yellow and bumpy and fat. It rolled from the garden and flattened the cat. Uh-oh, the cat is not so lucky. It got right underneath it. But is the squash going to stop growing yet? No. It knocked over trash cans and ran over toes. It twisted the sprinkler and plugged up the hose. Uh-oh. Everyone is having a little bit of a trouble now. Look at that. This little girl got her toe hurt. This little cat is now free from the squash, but everyone else is having a little trouble. This dog is having a hard time just to hang on and not fall, and the trash cans are, pushed down, and let's see. Uh-oh, these guys are so afraid that even their pants are off. Uh-oh, well, that's embarrassing. Oh, it crashed through the clothesline and smashed through the fence, scaring the pants off two elderly gents. No kidding, they must have been pretty scared. Well, is it still growing? Looks like it. Poor Nellie was worried. She said, "Oh my gosh, there's got to be some way to slow down the squash." She slapped it and scolded it, pinched it and kicked it, and then she took hold of its stem and she picked it. Just like that. Because without the stem, the squash can't get any more nutrients. And then, looks like it stopped growing. Now what do I do? Wondered Mrs. Mcnosh. I've got to find something to do with this squash. There isn't a place in the world it will fit. It is as big as a house. Wait, said Nellie. That's it. What is Mrs. Mcnosh going to do with the big squash? Well, let's find out. And so, by the night of a big yellow moon, she scooped and she scraped with a long-handled spoon. And when the sun rose, where was Mrs. Mcnosh? What is she doing and where she will be? Curled up sound asleep. So turns out Mrs. Mcnosh decided to turn the great big squash into her new house. How cool is that? In her big yellow squash. The end. Now, boys and girls, if you're tracking with me, and especially if you get to ask Miss Dawn, you likely will never get a squash this big. So this is just a story. We are not going to have big squash that will ever grow this big. But if we do though, Nellie, Mrs. Mcnosh, has a pretty good idea to turn it into a house that we can nap in. Wouldn't that be pretty cool? Alright, I hope you liked today's story and come back tomorrow for the last book of the week. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.